the hell? Are you stuck at home on a Saturday night with nothing to do again?
I can't take it anymore!
Then join me, my co-hosts, and my guests every Saturday evening for Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
Okay.
Together we'll discuss the big news of the week from entertainment and politics, talk about the issues that are on your mind, and hey, we'll even talk about general stupidity and jackassery from the American right.
You stupid jackass!
So join me every Saturday evening, 6 to 9 p.m. Central at my Ustream home, Mic Check Radio. Come on in, it'll be loads of fun.
Gee, I sure hope there's a happy ending. I love a happy ending.
Live on all the interwebs and internets, it's Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah, I think something's up with John's mic, because I keep hearing this.
There you go. All right, my mic is hot. Sorry about that. This is, of course, Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert, and we're going to have a great show tonight. And joining me is the cavalry from last week, Robert Poole in our Baltimore, Maryland bureau.
Hey.
And John Kendall in the Missoula, Montana bureau.
Howdy.
And I am going to shut off the chroma key because I am getting pissed. So there. I apologize for the crappy background. I'll fix it during the first break. Anywho, we're gonna have us a great show tonight. No guests, but we're gonna have us some fun. As everyone here likely knows, the vice presidential debate was Thursday, and oh shit, my box isn't ready.
It wouldn't be a show without technical difficulties.
I'm sorry. But
get it together, man.
It's as though, after the first debate performance, Barack Obama just went and said, "God damn it!"
I don't think he said that.
Not that. No, I'm sure he said that, but here we go. I'm sure he said,
"Release the Kraken!"
And the Kraken kicked ass. Yes, Rob.
Yeah. Joe went off on I'll quote Bill Maher, the tweet he had. Hello, 911. There's an old man on my TV beating a child.
Yes. So let's get started. We're going to do the 538 report, and then I am going to have an epic rant because I'm pissed. But first, the 538 report. According to Nate Silver at 538.com, the emergency forecast is that too high or is that okay?
I can't hear any music at all, dude.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
No, I don't have any music at all.
I'm not hearing anything.
Okay, I'm gonna cut I'm just gonna shut all the so Microsoft 3. Sorry about that. We are just having some. Like I said, I don't know what the.
Adam, you can say
here
fuck.
we go. We're going to hook up the box, hopefully, to you guys. Here we go.
Yeah.
Alright, can you turn the music off now?
Now you guys hear the music.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. 538 report. We're going to screw the music. If the election were held today, 538.com projects that on November... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm reversing that. Projects on November 6th of this year, Barack Obama won the election with 285 electoral votes. That is down from 25 last week. Down by 25 from last week. And Romney would receive 253 electoral votes, up 25. Barack Obama's chance of winning the election stand at 62.9%. Down 17.3, and Romney is now at 37.1, up 17.3. It projects that Barack Obama would receive 49.9% of the popular vote, down 1.2%, and Romney would get 149%. If the election were held today, they project that Barack Obama would receive 280 electoral votes, down by 37, and Romney would receive 258, up by 37. Barack Obama would have a 60% chance of winning, down 31.2%, and Romney a 40% chance of winning, up 31.2%, and Barack Obama would receive 49.7% of the popular vote. Obviously, these are not good numbers, and this is why I have an epic rant. And I want to make it clear this isn't directed towards anybody in particular. This is more like, towards America and Democrats in general. So I say this with utter love for my fellow men. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Barack Obama loses one debate. Arguably he has it stolen. And all of a sudden, you guys are banning Obama? What is wrong with you people? Am I right? Am I going too far?
Well, first you're talking about America in general, which has issues in its own place. I mean, we have, half of our, political system is kind of totally not working with the other half. Like I've been seeing this ad on NBC or CNN about obviously it's one of Romney's offshoots, one of his PACs, but it's pretty awful, and it calls on Tea Party patriots to donate to Romney because Obama's a socialist.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll go over that sometime in your future, but I want to stick on this because here's the thing. I'm going to double check the chat and make sure I am getting audio. Okay, there we go. Why is it that Republicans are so great at winning elections? There's a simple answer for this. They march in lockstep. They
also cheat.
They cheat, but they get their marching orders from Grover Norquist or George W. Bush or Rove, and they goose step all the way down. Okay, they do whatever they're told, whoever tells them to do it, and it's this. I stress it: strong and wrong versus weak and right. Republicans value strength, even if it means being wrong. Hence Bush. But it's time for liberals to be like that. Look, I understand that Barack Obama isn't the FDR we wish he were. I get it. Part of being an adult is accepting the fact that you're never going to get everything you want, especially from a politician. Am I right?
You are right.
Yeah, that's true.
And we are at risk of throwing everything from the past 4 years away. Everything. You need a reason to vote for Obama to not even have to think about it. Check. I'm
Bork, 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 bork. Great.
This is Judge Robert Bork. You may recognize the name, Borking, to basically reject outright a nominee for generally the court, but specifically the Supreme Court. He was nominated by Ronald Reagan in 1986 to fill a vacancy. And, this is the guy Mitt Romney has who's going to tell him who to pick for the Supreme Court. Now, if that's not enough to scare you, if you don't know who Robert Bork is, I'm gonna explain it. Robert Bork is a guy who is an avowed racist. He does not accept the constitutionality of the Voting Rights Act. He believes Griswold versus Connecticut, the law that said there is a right to privacy in the Constitution, was decided properly. He doesn't believe that private citizens have a right to privacy in their own homes. This guy is batshit crazy. He is so batshit crazy that Antonin Scalia was a moderate compared to him. Just to put that in perspective, Antonin Scalia, who is made asshole of the week before, the guy who told anyone who disagrees with him, "Fafunculo, fuck you," which, Sicilian for fuck you. And, this guy made Antonin Scalia the good pick. And if Mitt Romney wins this election, Bork is going to be picking Supreme Court picks. He's going to be filling Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat, Anthony Kennedy's seat, and possibly Antonin Scalia's seat. I don't give a duck fuck about Antonin Scalia. I don't care if you replaced him with Adolf Hitler.
Adam, that's impossible. Hitler is dead.
Well, I'm just saying. I wouldn't care if you replaced him with Dick Cheney. Because...
What about Emperor Palpatine?
You know what? Go for it. Well, and we'll be talking Star Wars later. If you don't, this isn't just about 4 years. This guy wants to go all the way back to 1960 and beyond. He believes the only right for citizens of this country is to bend over and grab the ankles for the corporate America. And if you're lucky, really, really lucky, you might get a little reach around.
I don't know if he believes in reach arounds.
So let's go over some of what he said. He believes that feminism is, quote, totalitarian, and that the Supreme Court with 2 female justices has become, quote, feminized at the time of U.S. versus U.S. versus Virginia in 1996, and has produced a feminization of the military. He believes that gender-based discrimination by government should no longer trigger heightened scrutiny under the Equal Protection Clause. So basically, if you don't have a penis, you're screwed. Because Robert Bork obviously believes in,
To be a man, you must have honor, and a penis!
Okay, I didn't hook the show's just going to hell tonight, isn't it? You guys did hear that, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We're getting somewhere. So, this guy will basically be on the Supreme Court without being on the Supreme Court, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
He'll be in their pockets, but without being.
Well, no, they'll be in his pockets. He's going to be picking them. So he's basically going to be looking for people to, who mirror his beliefs. So again, he's going to be stacking, it's going to be an attack of the clones. He's going to be stacking the Supreme Court with people who think just like him. A guy who thinks that feminism is totalitarian. So here's some more about former Judge Bork. Bork rejects the line of decisions beginning with Griswold versus Connecticut in 1965, affirming the right of Americans to privacy in their procreative and reproductive choices. He denounces the Supreme Court's protection of both married couples' individuals' right to contraception in Griswold and Eisenstadt v. Baird in 1972. He believes that declaring that such a right to privacy in matters of procreation was created, quote, out of thin air. He calls the Ninth Amendment, which states that the enumeration of the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people, an ink blot without meaning. So he's basically saying that Ninth Amendment, I don't like it, I'm going to ignore it.
But that's part of, the Bill of Rights. How's that going to work, man? It's not.
Well, it's going to work because he's going to pick people who say it does.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Well, I mean, the Constitution is the Constitution. You can't just, cherry pick which ones you want.
That's all Republicans do. To a Republican, freedom of religion means you have the freedom to be a Christian or else. That's what freedom of religion means to them. They don't believe in the separation clause, which is clearly meant to separate church and state because, remind me again, why did the Pilgrims leave England? I forget. I'm getting old, and
you just shut up!
That's not it. Where's my Jeopardy music? I'm getting old. I'm forgetting. Why did the Pilgrims leave England again, John?
You want me to answer that one?
Sure, Rob. Go ahead.
I'll take. They were.
Is that too loud?
Yeah.
Oops. What the hell was that? Sorry. How's that?
Yeah, I'll take. They were too stuck up for England for $100, Alex.
I am afraid you're wrong. Well, that's part of it, but there's a bigger reason. It has to do with religion. John, why did the Pilgrims leave England?
Why? To avoid religious persecution.
Wonderful. That's great. Yes, to avoid religious persecution. The Pilgrims were so uptight, the English didn't like them. So they came here for religious freedom. I think the Founding Fathers, with that in mind, wouldn't want religion and government to be intertwined. But I'm just an America-hating, union-liking, liberal thug.
You miss communist, or liberal, or socialist.
Socialist, liberal,
and don't forget that Republicans think all liberals are gay.
I assure you, I am not. But anyway,
it's okay, Adam.
So, this is a guy. Let's just look at the past 20 years. Okay, Romney wins. Don't Ask, Don't Tell is back. DOMA remains in force. They will roll back the decision, what was it? Who was it versus Texas, where they said, no, you can't criminalize homosexual behavior. Sorry, you can't do that. So, again, America, wake up. Pull your head out of your ass. Get your ass in gear. We cannot lose this election. If we lose this election, we're not only going to lose the past 50 or 60 years, we're going to lose the next 50 or 60 years. because Romney is going to pick people who are young and who follow orders, just like Bush.
Adam?
Yes.
To get to your point about the Texas homosexuality thing, it was Lawrence v. Texas.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Lawrence v. Texas. That's going to be overturned. Citizens United will be affirmed. And Citizens United is half the problem with this election. If there were not Citizens United, I think Mitt Romney would be losing in double digits. I really do.
Well, that also plays into a larger narrative, especially with the media, the so-called liberal media.
Yeah.
Especially after that first debate. The media wants a horse race. They don't want a landslide. They don't want a repeat of Reagan versus Mondale.
Because,
honestly, if this was all fair and square, and the GOP wasn't allowed to do their little voter purges and all that good stuff, it would probably be about just as bad. Because we know that, horse races don't sell papers. Or news or ads.
Yeah. So let's get this straight. There is liberal media. I'm the liberal media. Current's the liberal media. Stephanie Miller, Ed Schultz, Randy Rhoads. I don't think MSNBC is liberal. I think they have liberals on their payroll.
Oh, yeah.
I think Rachel Maddow runs herself a liberal show. But they don't report from a liberal slant. But you have organizations like Fox that report from a conservative slant.
I'd argue that most of the big three are all also conservative, have a conservative bias also. Because, like I said, they want a horse race. They don't want a landslide. They have to portray Romney as this moderate that will save America from itself, or it's going to be a one-sided ass kicking.
Yeah, well, like I said, I get what you're saying, Rob, but I don't think they're really conservative. I think they're corporate. Remember, in corporate media,
there is a difference there.
If it bleeds, it leads. The horse race mentality. We have to get it right first mentality that arguably cost Al Gore the election. Because remember, there was this race to get it first, and Fox just comes out and says Bush won, and that is basically where Al Gore lost the election, even though he had won it, because that set the narrative.
Yeah, but I mean, if the media are trying to portray Romney as like this human, like decent human being, they can't. Like, he's a fucking robot. He goes in and just like he has no emotions. It's like, it's awful. But I mean, as long as he doesn't get in there, then I mean, he can fuck up all he wants.
Well, and let's be honest. I honestly don't think Romney will be. If Romney wins, he's a one-term president. His policies are going to be so god-awful. America's going to be pissed. We will spiral back into recession, maybe even depression, because his policies. I mean, Armin. God bless you, Armin. Love you to death. You're a great guy, but your politics suck ass. He's going around with this picture. It's a parody of the Obama Hope poster, and it's a picture of Paul Ryan and math. Paul Ryan doesn't have any fucking math. His plan, Romney's plan, is mathematically impossible.
Proven mathematically impossible.
I mean, I'm no mathematician. Far from it. I'm a Japanese student. I'm learning Japanese. But his budget doesn't even have numbers.
As we saw, Thursday, they can't pull any specifics out. It's like, basically, it boils down to, vote for us. We'll tell you what it is later.
Yeah. And they seem to think that should be enough to satisfy people. And it isn't. Sorry, I want some specifics. I'm actually saying I am not mad as a fucking hatter. That's an old chestnut, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Oldie yet a goodie.
Yes. Anywho, we're going to go to break. Coming up, next segment, you're never going to believe who an Arkansas Republican accused of being a Marxist. Also, important West Carskadon related news. This is big. This is big. This is as big as Rush Limbaugh's penis is small.
Oh!
One Rush Limbaugh penis joke.
And Mark Hamill recently, as I said earlier at the top of the show, Mark Hamill was on the Young Turks, and we're going to go over that. And we're going to cast Star Wars with political figures. And I'm pretty sure we all know who I'm going to pick to be Jabba the Hutt. But anywho, we're going to go to break. We'll be back. This is Mike Check Radio with me, Adam Hebert, and special guest co-hosts Rob Poole and John Kendall out of Baltimore and Missoula, respectively. We'll be back.
Nobody react to what I'm about to tell you. I think that kid might be
Adam Hebert on Mike Check Radio.
Hi, this is Kenny Pick from Turn Up the Night. Here are some of the hijinks you can expect from my show. Now, Tony, since you're in the UK, I would love to get your opinion of some of our contenders right now. So let's start with our good friend Mitt Romney.
Mr. Smoothie.
Yeah. Have you heard his singing voice? The man has the voice of an angel.
Above the fruited plain.
So.
Brilliant.
Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick, streaming live every Tuesday and Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern at Radio or Not, Talk Radio 1, Progressive Blend Radio, and KennyPick.com.
It's the HowdyLand.com News Bulletin with Stan Douglas. Go to HowdyLand.com and click on the Funny Times special offer to receive your free sample issue today.
Though largely ignored by the so-called mainstream media during this election cycle, former vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin has been making the rounds of the talk show circuit to, well, be on TV. Early today, she made a surprise appearance on cable television's popular Don't Stick Your Finger in That.
Sarah Palin, don't stick your finger in that!
Later today, Palin is expected to stop by the set of Slap Me Silly for a bit of the old oggity-oggity. This HowdyLand.com news bullet is hunched over in the cold wind and about to pull its collar close and light a cigarette. I'm Stan Douglas.
You never know who or what you'll hear when you listen to The Nicole Sandler Show at RadioOrNot.com.
Greg Palast, I realized as we were talking that actually we were supposed to do this on Wednesday, so thank you so much for bearing with me.
Well, I am thrilled that we're doing that. You've jumped the other characters. Because, Nicole, I just think that your show is brilliant, and I want to thank you because my stuff may be prime time in Britain, but here I keep slamming into the electronic Berlin Wall, and you have snuck me across and into the information stream. And I hope that your listeners are aware of how important and precious your program is. So I want to thank you.
The Nicole Sandler Show, live Monday through Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, or podcast anytime at RadioOrNot.com.
Do you believe in UFOs, astral projections, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography, telekinetics, movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and
Mic Check Radio?
If there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say.
This is Adam Hebert on Mic Check Radio.
Open my mic, and away we go. I'm back, and hey, I got the chroma key working again. So I've got my beloved Constitution behind me. So anywho, we are back, and with me for the whole show in the sidecar or sidecars. I think one sidecar might make it a bit uncomfortable for you guys. And I have
I'm a big boy, so.
Tell me. Well, I have no right to say otherwise because I'm kind of on the chunky side too. Actually,
I have noticed that.
When did this happen, Adam?
My mom sent me a baby picture, and we'll show it later. I can't resist. Anywho, we're back, and joining me is Rob Poole out of our Baltimore, Maryland bureau.
Good evening.
And John Kendall out of our Missoula, Montana bureau.
What's up?
And of course, I am in Studio D for Dorm. So yeah. Anywho, before we get a little further, I just want to point this out. Effective immediately. Talking Left with Shano and Danielle will no longer be on Wednesday nights on Radio or Not. It is moving to Sunday mornings. And of course, I'm upset because Saturday night is my anime night. I'm usually up until like 4 in the morning watching anime because I can't do it any other time of the week. I've got class. So Saturday is my me day after the show. And so I'm going to have to go to the podcast. But please, if you're awake that early, I didn't know that there was, it's from 9 to noon Eastern. And I didn't even know there was a 9 a.m.
Yeah, neither did I. Man, you lost me at 9.
And just so everyone knows, I do know that Howdyland News Bullet was a repeat, but they're on break this week. So is the Green News Report. So we're going to have all music for breaks this show. Anyway, let's get back in. Before we go back to the, president, an Arkansas Republican is accusing of being a Marxist, let's talk about Antonin the Fat-Ass Scalia, because I think he gives... I'm of Italian descent. My great-grandparents came from Italy. They came in at Ellis Island. I've seen the actual records. So, and I take pride in that. That's why I tell people when I don't like them, kiss my fat Italian American ass. I take pride in my Italian heritage. And so I don't like Antonin Scalia. I think he gives us Italians a bad name. So
he also gives fat people a bad name, and we are fat people, so we're judgmental bastards.
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
And so that means I get to hate him twice. I get to hate him twice because we're both Italian and we're both fat. But so he did an interview with a right-wing organization, and that's funny. I thought justices weren't supposed to participate in partisan activity, but I guess that rule only applies if you're a liberal, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Oh my God, she was at Planned Parenthood. How dare she? Oh, the inanity. So
yeah. Wait, you said manatee, right?
No, I said inanity.
Oh, I thought we were talking about
Rush?
Chris Christie.
No. But speaking of Chris Christie, Kenny Pick, who is a huge fan of Blazing Saddles, compares him to Mongo from Blazing Saddles. You know, the big guy? You know, the stupid guy? Mongo only pawn and game of life. The guy who played him, Alex Karras, passed away this week, so of course, condolences to his widow, Susan Clark. But anyway, back to Antonin Scalia. So he gives this partisan speech, again. He's not supposed to, but Antonin Scalia...
That ass freak!
He said, he calls himself a textualist, which basically means he only believes what's there in the Constitution. So apparently he believes that blacks are 3/5, of a person, and other unpopular things. So he says, quote, the death penalty, give me a break. It's easy. Abortion, absolutely easy. Nobody ever thought the abortion prevented restrictions on abortion. Homosexual sodomy, come on, for 200 years it was criminal in every state. Bullshit?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But, so again, this is the guy every conservative candidate for president cites as a model. Him and Bork. If that doesn't scare you into voting for every Democrat for the rest of your life, I think we're just going to pack up and go home, guys, because we can't do our job.
Game over, man. Game over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Hotkey G.
Well done. Well done.
Well played, sir.
So yeah, what more can we say? I mean, if that's not reason enough for you to vote for Barack Obama, if you look, like I said, I know liberals are disappointed and conservatives are like, oh, he's a big Texas spend liberal. Well, let me put it this way: which do you prefer? A tax and spend liberal, or a borrow and spend conservative?
Yeah, because that is exactly what we're going to get with Romney.
Romney
I hate to tell you this, but if you're expecting Mitt Romney, of all people, a pioneer of outsourcing, to bring jobs to America, I think you may be mistaken. And there's a big story coming out of this, too. Bain Capital has this company called Sensata Tech.
We're covering that later.
Okay.
Because I touched on the basically they made the factory take down the American flag and fly the Chinese flag.
Oh.
This is going to come back and haunt him.
But to everyone, go on, Rob. I'm sorry, I'm not meaning to talk over you.
Well, we're going to cover it later, so.
Yeah. So to everyone who is still like, I haven't decided yet, or I'm gonna vote for Romney, or I'm gonna protest vote and vote for Jill Stein. All I can say is,
so tell me, what's it like living in a constant haze of stupidity?
Hey, in fairness, I'm voting for Jill Stein simply because there is no way statistically possible that Romney could carry Maryland.
Which is saying something. Both of his home states hate him. They hate him.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, does Massachusetts have term limits for their governor? I know he was only a one-term governor, but could he have run for more than 2 terms?
I would have supposed so.
So, I mean, he was voted out because he was very unpopular.
He was so unpopular he didn't even run for governor for a second term.
Yeah. So, that should tell you something, folks. Anywho, let's get to my little question. So, what president should I break out the Jeopardy music again, or are we cool?
We're cool.
Okay. What president do you think this Arkansas Republican? Let me pull up this. No. What president do you think he called a Marxist? This Republican, John. Oh no, wait, wrong one. Nope. I think this is John Mausch. Loy Mausch, Republican of Arkansas. Who do you think he compared to? Who do you think he accused of being a Marxist? It's gonna be the last.
It could be Barack Obama, could it?
You would think so, but.
Oh wow!
John.
Wait. Bill Clinton.
It's good. No.
Damn it.
It's gonna be one you never expect. I'm not making this up. That's how crazy this guy is.
Did he actually claim that Saint Ronnie was a Marxist or socialist? Darn.
Second to last.
That would
John
have been
Kennedy. John Kennedy.
This guessing game. He accused Abraham Lincoln, the rail splitter, the first Republican president, of being a Marxist.
I don't think socialism existed back in the 1860s.
Well, no, it didn't. But
no, wait.
So here's what he had to say in letters to the Democrat Gazette. Mausch vehemently defended slavery and suggested Jesus condoned it. Quote, if slavery were so god-awful, why didn't Jesus and Paul condemn it? Why was it in the Constitution, and why wasn't there a war before 1861? The South has always stood by the Constitution and limited government. Yeah, they stood by the Constitution by leaving the fucking country!
Adam, blood pressure medication. Cat.
I mean... okay, so, and limited government. When one attacks the... I think we need our dueling banjos.
Here it comes.
Because this is really... The South has always stood by the Constitution and limited government. When one attacks the Confederate battle flag, he is certainly denounced these principles of government as well as Christianity. Wow! So the government battle flag represents Christianity. Okay, and we're getting complaints about the sound effects. So I guess I'm gonna have to tone it down just a bit. Okay, Becky, we'll try that again in a little bit. I apologize. So yeah. To continue, his other letters. Now I am shocked that this guy can write. His other letters call Abraham Lincoln a Marxist and celebrate the Confederate flag as quote, a symbol of Christian liberty versus the New World Order. Because as we all know, Christianity and freedom go together like chocolate and peanut butter. You know, with that first commandment, I am thy Lord God, thou shalt have no other gods before me. That just says freedom all over it.
Yeah.
It sure does.
Well, not only are they bringing up like that, you know, he's like that they're saying he's a Marxist. They're totally ignoring the fact that he was the greatest vampire hunter in the world.
Well, but wait, there's more. He also organized a conference in 2004 praising John Wilkes Booth and calling for the removal of an Abraham Lincoln statue. That is classy with a K.
Yeah, but I think the only classier would be bringing up car crashes in the presence of the vice president.
Yeah, I could not get that clip. I couldn't find it in the debate. I didn't have time to listen to the whole thing. But yeah, I heard the clip on Kenny Pick's show, and we'll talk about it. But I don't have that exact audio. But wait, there's more. Another Arkansas Republican, John Hubbard, Republican of Jonesboro, revealed that he believes slavery was a blessing in disguise and that African Americans do not value education. So he's saying, he's basically of the Pat Buchanan school, which is say thank you for the nice boat ride. And he's also saying, you guys are a bunch of dumb fucks. Why won't you vote for me? Yeah. Here's what he said. Quote, the institution of slavery that the black race has long believed to be an abomination upon its people may actually have been a blessing in I'm not going to pull up the dueling banjos again. The blacks who could endure those conditions and circumstances would someday be rewarded with citizenship in the greatest nation ever established upon the face of the earth. He goes on to say that African Americans must, quote, understand that even while in the throes of slavery, their lives as Americans were likely much better than they ever would have enjoyed living in sub-Saharan Africa. Knowing what we know today about life on the African continent, would an existence spent in slavery have been any crueler than a life spent in sub-Saharan Africa? So, you should thank us for the nice boat ride, thank us for slavery, thank us for, saving our asses. But wait, there's more. Quote, wouldn't life for blacks in America today be more enjoyable and successful if they would only learn to appreciate the value of a good education? Because as we all know, Barack Obama, former editor of the Harvard Law Review, does not respect education at all.
They just keep digging themselves deeper and deeper in a grave of shit.
The sad thing is this is probably going to help him. This is going to help his prospects of winning re-election. What is wrong with these people?
Adam. Blood pressure medication is bad.
Okay.
The problem is that they claim that African Americans can't appreciate a good education. Yeah, well, I don't think this guy had much of an education himself.
Probably not.
I would assume that the amount of education he has had is about is relative to the size of Rush Limbaugh penis.
Number two.
Two Rush Limbaugh penis jokes.
Go on.
I'm keeping count tonight.
All right. Rob is our official Rush Limbaugh penis joke tracker. So yeah. And I saw a picture of a guy at a Romney rally with a shirt that had the Romney logo on it and put the weight back in the White House. And I looked at it very carefully, and it looked like that wasn't a sticker. I didn't see anything obvious that you would think, if you just slapped a sticker on your shirt, it's going to bubble up, you're going to see edges. they don't stay very long on fabric. Am I right?
That is correct.
And I'm looking at that picture right now, Adam, and like that's screen printed on.
And may I point out that campaign logos are trademarked. They cannot be reproduced without permission. So either this guy got it illegally, or, you know, and of course Armin took me to task for thinking the obvious. It's like, Armin, what do you expect me to believe? They make these obvious passes at racists.
Yep. It's very possible that this might not be the only T-shirt. This might not be the only copy of that T-shirt going around.
I mean, look, I'm not saying it's definitely from the Romney campaign. I'm saying it could be, or it could be an illegal reproduction of the Romney campaign logo. Either way, where's Mitt Romney in this? Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Mormons thought black people weren't human beings until, was it 78?
How about that?
Or am I too late? Is it 76 or 78? I know it was an even year.
I'd have to look it up.
I'll look it up right now, Adam.
Thank you, John. Go monkeys, fly!
Ha! I'm nobody's flunky, brother.
I was gonna play, where is my... I was gonna play the Obama derangement syndrome thing again, because a lot of what we're hearing sounds like it's... Excuse me. Let's settle for, before we go to break, because have you ever noticed how sometimes it just seems like people in red states talk an entirely different language from normal people?
Yeah.
That has passed my mind.
Well, but there is help for us, and Mike and Raleigh, Rocky Mountain Mike, put together this ad for a wonderful new product that I wholeheartedly endorsed. Here we go.
White House just rammed healthcare down everybody's throats.
Having trouble understanding your conservative friends? Try Red Statistone, the first mobile app designed especially to translate right-wing talk into English. Just record the conservative phrase,
"We're moving more and more towards socialism."
Then press the translate button.
I can't handle having a black president.
Red Statistone translates everything your Republican friends say.
They're weighing businesses down with too many regulations.
I can't handle having a black president.
I'll be glad when we get our country back.
I can't handle having a black president.
Take Red Statistone home for the holidays so you can try to understand your relatives.
You know who'd make a great president? That Herman Cain.
I so much can't handle having a black president that I hide my racism by supporting a black candidate who hasn't got a prayer of winning.
If you can't understand Red State gibberish, at last there's an app for that. Red Statistone.
So yeah, and I've actually used Red Statistone to conduct discussions with my conservative father, and it works. It really works. So go check out. And fun fact, first of all, that is obviously not a real product. And second of all, that basically had the entire cast of Turn Up the Night. Well, almost the entire cast of Radio or Not, because you heard Kenny Pick, who's saying we're moving more and more towards socialism, and Jacob Dean, who does the thing about weighing businesses down, and the bit about Herman Cain, and then Deborah Kell saying, "I'll be glad when we take our country back." So I, had to share that. Anywho, we are going to go to break. It is
Adam, sorry to interrupt, but the official ending of the black policy was 1978.
Thank you very
much. For LDF.
I was right the first time. Thank you. Like I said, I knew I was close, and I knew it was an even year. So, yeah. We're going to go to break. Hopefully, Wes, we have exciting car scatting news. That's car scatting, not Kardashian. This show is a Kardashian-free zone, because remember what John Fury was saying? You need to get the fuck away from the Kardashians! And we will be back in a few moments. Enjoy this piece, a remix of, I believe, the final law house music from the front of the CD.
Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert
was awkward and uncomfortable in more ways than one.
you living in a progressive talk void? If so, be sure to visit leftwingradiostations.com. The state-by-state listing is a quick and easy way to find any left-wing talk radio station across America, from sea to shining sea. Your progressive talk nirvana is only a click away at leftwingradiostations.com. Be sure to like Left Wing Radio Stations on Facebook and share it with your friends. leftwingradiostations.com. United we stand.
It's the HowdyLand.com News Bulletin with Stan Douglas. Go to HowdyLand.com and click on the Funny Time special offer to receive your free sample issue today.
This is Chip Whistler filling in for Stan Douglas, who's on assignment at the Republican National Headquarters in Washington, D.C. Let's see how he's doing. Stan, are you there?
It's unbelievable, Chip. I'm directly across the street from the RNC headquarters, and countless numbers of huge rats are literally spilling out of the place. I'd better move back.
Stan, can you tell me if they're wharf rats or sewer rats?
What the hell difference does it make? It's a horrific, roiling ratscape is all I know. And wait. They all seem to be hailing tiny little taxi cabs.
Are you going to follow them, Stan?
No, Chip. I'm waiting for Republicans. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I don't have to wear shoes around here. Sweet. This HowdyLand.com news bullet was totally rat-proof by experts an hour after Stan Douglas left on assignment. I'm Chip Whistler.
Hi, friends. This is Tom Hartman.
This is Stephanie Miller.
Hey, this is Hal Sparks.
I'm Brad Friedman. I approve of Nicole Sandler's RadioOrNot.com.
Radio or Not.
Radio or Not.
RadioOrNot.com.
RadioOrNot.com.
RadioOrNot.com. RadioOrNot.com.
What the hell? Are you stuck at home on a Saturday night with nothing to do again?
I can't take it anymore!
Then join me, my co-hosts, and my guests every Saturday evening for Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert. Okay. Together we'll discuss the big news of the week from entertainment and politics, talk about the issues that are on your mind, and hey, we'll even talk about general stupidity and jackassery from the American right.
You stupid jackass!
So join me every Saturday evening, 6 to 9 p.m. Central at my Ustream home, Mic Check Radio. Come on in, it'll be loads of fun.
Gee, I sure hope there's a happy ending. I love a happy ending.
And now, live on your computer machine, it's Adam Hebert with Mic Check Radio.
Fuck yeah! And we are back. Hour number 1 just flew by, although I wonder if that might just be the stress from the technical difficulties that just constantly plague the show. But regardless, I am back with my super special guest co-hosts out of our Missoula, Montana bureau, John Kendall. Uh-oh. Wait. Something's wrong here. Hold on. Oh, this is not good. My apologies. I'm not getting sound from, let me see here. Hello? Okay, so this isn't it. Test. Okay, so we can get rid of this. Alright, I figured it out. We're going to fix it right now. Line 4. Let's try it now. John! Are you
Konnichiwa!
There we go. We got it fixed. Alright, good. And out of our Baltimore, Maryland bureau, Robert Poole. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
And hopefully the most badass co-host in Liberal Talk, Wes Garskadden, will be joining us sometime in the near future. And just a reminder, don't forget, Talking Left is moving to Sundays, 9 to noon Eastern, beginning tomorrow. Don't miss it. And if you do miss it, do what I'm going to have to do and download the podcast. And why is my... my camera doesn't seem to like me. It keeps slowing down. So anyway. God damn. Anywho. I'm trying to think what we want to talk about next. Well, obviously we're going to talk about stupid Republicans because that's always, fun. But
that's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do. With that and make jokes at the expense of Rush Limbaugh and his shrinky dink. That's number 3. And my mic is kind of low. Hello. Test, test, test. Oh, okay. That is very weird. I may have to see if I can do something about that. Chat room, how's my mic sounding? How's my mic sounding? Anywho, let's get started. Okay, here's a good one. I've been sitting on this for a couple weeks because I just I kept forgetting to play it because I'm stupid. This is a campaign, a Romney campaign phone call out of Florida. Take a listen.
Citizens, right? Y'all sound like y'all are senior citizens, right? Yeah, you don't want Obama. You really don't want Obama because he'll get rid of your Medicare. You might as well say goodbye to it. Yeah, and I don't know if you've done any research on Obama or not, but he is a Muslim. He is got a socialistic view on the, economy, the government, the whole 9 yards. If he had his way, we'd be a socialistic country. Okay, really do. Pay attention to Fox News. If you can get out and watch that movie 2016, do so. That has a lot of good information. Just really, the newspapers and the Fox News will help you out. Will help you. Okay? Appreciate it, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Now, keep in mind, this is an official GOP phone call. This is, from the GOP on behalf of Mitt Romney, and they're promoting Fox News. Now, if I didn't know better, I think that might be proof. Excuse me, that Fox is a Republican station. What do you guys think?
Well, we already know the truth about that one, thanks to Ann Coulter. But yeah, I think she's being a little bit misleading with the facts there.
What?
It's the modus operandi of the Republican Party to make up facts.
Well, yeah,
it is, but.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we don't have Democrats doing that, so it's it's another one of those the things that the GOP does that we allow them to get away with.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah, and I mean, if I'm wrong on anything, feel free to call me out. We're all discussing the same
you're doing
thing
great.
here, so.
You're doing just fine. I promise. I'm not going to throw away my what little credit I've gotten for doing the show away. You're doing just fine. I promise.
Well, that's the thing that separates us from them. If we make a mistake, we'll own it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, I don't know if you listen to Randy Rhodes. I'm pretty sure John doesn't because Montana has no liberal talk station. But Randy Rhodes always says...
You're kind of dropping out.
Yeah,
How am I now?
You're okay, but sometimes you, drop out a little bit.
I may have just backed off of the mic. Where was I? I'm sorry. I don't know if you listen to Randy Rhodes, Rob. And I know John doesn't because Montana has no liberal talk station. I mean, the only one was in Missoula, and that got bought out by, I don't remember who, but they had a vested interest in keeping liberal talk off the air. I know that. I remember hearing about that when I was living there. But, they sit here, and, where was my brain? Randy Rhodes says all the time, don't believe me. just because you agree with me, do the research. Here's where I get my information from. Look it up. It's there for yourself. She posts she basically posts her show prep every day online. You know, it's just a list of links and it says what the link is about, but you get to see what information she's using to put on her show. You don't get that from Rush.
Right, she's posting your sources.
Yeah, Rush Limbaugh's Rush Limbaugh's always, just listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. You know, Tala and Loan from God. You know, and like I said, so you know, I mean, I'm not a journalist.
It's just like these people, they just, in spite of the fact that they claim that they're Christians, they simply cannot apologize for anything.
Well, I mean, and again, this is what drives me nuts. Lying is a sin. You can't claim to be Christian and be a shameless liar. And this is coming from someone who left the Catholic Church about 15, 20 years ago. You know, I've had people say, you know, you're no longer, you know, because I'll tell people I'm a former Catholic. I'm no longer a Catholic. They'll say, you sure seem to conduct yourself in the way a Catholic should. You know, but again, I don't tell people, believe me because you agree with me. One of the things I want to do when I finally have a web page.
You're jumping out again.
Yeah.
I think that's because John, background music. But let me see. I don't know. Everything's hooked up, right? Maybe what I'll do is I'll muck around. Oh, nope, that's not it. I'll muck around with the audio levels in a little bit, and we'll see what I can do with that. But what I'm saying is that I don't say believe me because you agree with me. And one of the things I want to do when we finally have a web page of our own is I want to do what Randy Rhodes did, which is post my show prep. And it's going to be the same packet I have on my tablet every show. You know, organized by segment. It's going to have hyperlinks, so you just click the link. You know, you push the button, Frank. You know, and there you go. That's one of the things I really want to do when I have more money, and you know, because I hate this world where you have to have money to do anything. But anywho, so yeah, that was an interesting phone call. Do you guys have any thoughts that we haven't touched upon yet?
No, not yet.
No, I mean, and you know, like I said, you know, it seems like that, you know, anybody associated with the Republican Party just loves to bring up stuff that isn't true, like pull their own facts out of like some sort of giant fat hat that's not there.
Well, it's a Republican thing. They have this, and this is a joke that Bill Maher does a lot. They have this information bubble, and they live in the bubble, and facts from the outside cannot get into the bubble. I mean, we can say, you know, Obama is not a socialist because I'm a socialist, and then he's definitely not a socialist. But
I think if Barack Obama were a socialist, we'd be a lot better off.
Yeah, he'd also be a lot. He'd actually live up to that claim that he's a bleeding hearts liberal too.
Yeah, because I mean, FDR was actually pretty damn close to a socialist, and those were some of the, you know, yeah. I mean, immediately after FDR's term, we had this huge boom. And oh my God, the top tax rate was 95% at one point.
Could you imagine how much they would howl if we had that kind of a tax rate now?
Well, I mean, it would never get that far because we've bought into this narrative that high taxes kill jobs when it clearly doesn't.
Right.
Because
we had the biggest boom time ever in the history of our nation when, you know, the taxes were rather high.
Right. And you know, the thing is this. If low taxes create job growth, and high taxes do the opposite. How do you explain the 50s, 60s, and 70s? Because until Ronald Reagan came in and slashed corporate taxes, everything was fine. We had huge growth, enormous prosperity, gas was cheap, except for the oil embargo in the 70s. But again, this goes back to what you're saying, John, is they think, look, you are entitled to your own opinion, and I will never deny that right from you. To you. You are not entitled to your own set of facts.
Yeah, it's like, the only way you can debate them is, dropping to their level, but as a person, you don't want to do that and sacrifice, dirt throwing for dirt throwing.
Yeah. But since we're talking about people who want their own sets of facts, how about we talk about Todd Akin?
Oh, God.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Legitimate Rape. Have you ever known? Okay, remember last week we talked about Representative Paul Brown of Georgia, who was saying, I think the Earth is 6,000 years old. And remember, this guy sits on the Science Committee.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Hypocrisy forward.
And so does Todd Akin, and he had some quality thoughts about evolution this week. Take a listen.
What's your view on evolution? Well, I've taken a look at both sides of the thing, and it seems to me that evolution takes a tremendous amount of faith to have all of a sudden all of the different things that have to be lined up to create something as sophisticated as life. It takes a lot of faith. I don't see it as even a matter of science, because I don't know if you can prove one or the other. So that's one of those things. We could talk about theology and all kinds of science things. I'm basically concerned about, you got a choice between Claire McCaskill and myself. My job is to make the thing there. If we want to do theoretical stuff, we can do that, but I think I better stay on topic.
Yeah. I think you better stay on topic.
Sorry about that. I didn't realize. I was like, what is that noise at the end? I didn't realize the clip hadn't ended. I thought that was one of you guys. Yeah, so the GOP puts people who don't believe in science on the House Science Committee. And if you'll notice, they put Michelle Bachmann on the Intelligence Committee.
That speaks for itself.
I see what you did there.
And it's like...
You're mental, aren't you?
Hotkey M. They're mental. Tell me I'm wrong. Someone tell me I'm wrong. Am I being too hard on these guys?
No.
I'm sorry, Adam. I just can't, risk my intelligence to tell you that you're wrong.
Fair enough.
Every time I hear these people open their mouths, I get dumber every time.
Yeah,
I know. I lost freaking 30 IQ points right the fuck there.
I mean, we need whenever we're gonna play something really stupid, we need to do like this. We are at DumbCon 5. We are at DumbCon 5.
Tards incoming! Tards incoming!
I'm gonna have to correct you on that one, buddy. That one's a little too,
Except, well, and I will say I'm kind of with you, except that, have you ever noticed that Sarah Palin only goes after liberals who use that word? If you're a conservative and you call a liberal retarded, that's okay.
I bet I'll be right back. Gotta kill myself for sounding like Sarah Palin.
No, don't! John, we'll talk you out of this!
Oh, god damn you, Sarah Palin, you bitch.
I better warn you ahead of time that we're gonna have Sarah Palin's reaction to the debate.
Oh joy.
which is actually hysterical when you consider what she has to say. So yeah. So any thoughts about that other than what I've already said?
Like, I don't know, like, how can you say that evolution hasn't happened? Look at a fucking science book. You know, alright, personal story time. I used to, be like, totally, oh god, evolution, totally ignore it. But,
yeah, you should see the arguments I had with a friend of mine.
But then, I took a class and, did research on my own, looked at the facts, and then I was like, how have I been stupid for this so many years when it's, like, right in front of me? And hell, I'm gonna go nerd on you here for a second, but I play Pokemon, and I was like, oh god, evolution, but now, it's like...
Pokemon?
It's like, how can you ignore the facts, man? It's just like, I am literally, like, shaking my head.
Well, it goes back to this bubble thing Rob was talking about. They live in a bubble, and any facts that contradict what they think they know, it's like Weird Al said, everything you think you know is wrong, and like I said, when people like, Todd Aiken talk like this, my reaction is usually,
say what?
So yeah, I mean, I just, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like brain hurt. It's like I've got a headache behind, a migraine. Those migraines right behind your eye.
Oh.
Those are the worst.
Yeah, they are. And, like, yeah, like you said, they're just... Well, yeah, like Rob said, they're in their own bubble, and, like, that bubble needs to be seriously, like, popped and, like, thrown the fuck out, because how can you call yourself an intelligent person without realizing that there are these facts out there, but you turn your blinders on and there's nothing?
Well, part of the problem is, too, that they have one source for information that goes in that bubble, and that information is from Fox News.
Well, not just that, I mean, like...
It's like Adam Savage says in Mythbusters.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
That's basically... Oh, almost knocked my mic over. Oops. It's exactly like that. They don't, they reject reality and substitute their own.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna get flack for this one too, but here it comes. Their other source of quote-unquote facts are from the Bible. I mean, like, I'm a Christian, I fully admit it, but...
I have no problem with Christians. Actually, we're going to be going after a Christian, one of those hyper Christians. My Christian penis is bigger than your Christian penis, guys. One of those guys is my asshole of the week, and we will have some biblical verses, at that point. But please continue, sir.
But like, I mean, like they're just taking all these facts from the Bible that says, oh yeah, if homosexuals get married, then people are going to marry their dog, or, marry
dogs
their
and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Yeah.
Right.
Here it comes. Who are they to regulate happiness? Who are they to do that?
Well, they think God has given them that right.
No, it's not true. You have no right to govern human rights like that. And, like, I just fucking shake my head and, I sometimes question, everything, but, just like, oh yeah, gays are gonna get married. Next, all of a sudden, you're going to, lose a foot, and, you're going to get punched in the eye by a gay person. No, you're not. There is nothing bad about this. I have an older sister who is gay. She has a son, my nephew, and he is not, he is not doing what the Republican Party are afraid of that he'll be doing. Like, he's not out, burning churches. He's not out doing that. I mean, he is like 4 years old. Still,
give him time. Give him time.
Yeah,
no,
but
I'm just
still,
joking.
like, he's not. They're not crafting him to be some homosexual person. And
right.
Well, and when
it's not like he's gonna. It's not like he's gonna grow up. He's not 100% going to grow up gay.
Yeah. Well, it's like I always tell people, when they say, being gay is a choice, I always say, okay, when did you choose to be straight? And they shut up.
Yeah.
They shut up because they can't answer it because it's not a choice.
Yeah, well, my little sister has a friend who is Mormon, no problem with that, different strokes, different folks, etc., etc. Well, I asked her one day, like, what is her stance on that? Like, she said that, people are born gay. Or, people can be born gay, yes. But, like, they choose to act on their homosexuality. And I about, like, rage quit her. And I was like, are you kidding me? My God, man.
Do you choose to engage in your heterosexuality? I mean, no. Anywho, we're running long on the break. I'm sorry to interrupt, John, but we should really get going. Your music for this break is a remix of Fighting of the Spirit from Tales of Symphonia called The Unholy Wars. Enjoy.
Who do you think you are, anyway?
If I gave you my name, you'd get it dirty.
You're listening to Adam Hebert and Mike Check Radio.
Unfiltered truth, news, and opinion. Filter-free radio with Jacob Dean and Skeptical Scott.
There's protesters waking up and people are getting in the streets. People want the truth. People are becoming active because, quite frankly, people are fed up. And we see things like Occupy Wall Street and Occupy whatever have you. These independent, nonpartisan movements growing. The status quo is scared. There is fear amongst those in power, and they want to maintain their power.
Live every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern.
They have to have Homeland Security keep tabs on Occupy Wall Street, or pass new bills that say it's illegal to protest, or suppress.
When these institutions no longer serve the function for which they were created, they are limited to force or fraud as the only means by which to keep people in check. And soon, force is all they have left, as people are starting to see through the fraud. So what are we going to do about it?
FilterFreeRadio.com.
It's the HowdyLand.com News Bulletin with Stan Douglas. Go to HowdyLand.com and click on the Funny Time special offer to receive your free sample issue today.
A group calling itself Parrots for Romney convened this morning for a rally at Cedar Shake Mall outside of Bluff City, Wyoming. Though parrots are native to South and Central America in this hemisphere and can't legally vote in the U.S., they wanted to make their voices heard. A protest group known as Ocelots for Obama pretty much put an end to all that in short order. This HowdyLand.com news bulletin will stand in the way of progress until progress gets real. I'm Stan Douglas.
For you, the day
Adam Hebert on Mike Check Radio.
graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Open up my mic, and there we go. I am back, and actually, it was Saturday. That the day I graced everyone's village, but yeah, that was of course Raul Julia from the 1994 turd Street Fighter. And Wes is ready, so we're gonna add him. So, what? Hold on, it's not letting me add him to the call. Anywho, joining me are our special guest co-hosts, John Kendall out of our Missoula, Montana Bureau.
Hello.
And, Rob Poole out of our Baltimore, Maryland Bureau.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, call failed. This is not good, guys. We're gonna... oh dear, this is not good at all. And my glasses are digging into my nose, too. Shit. Let's try again. Here we go. There we go! It's working! There we go. Stupid Skype.
Hello.
Ah! There we go! It worked! Everyone! It's the most badass co-host in Liberal Talk Radio. What? Was someone trying to stop me from something?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay,
Adam.
so here's the
Bitch,
jingle.
please.
Your attention, please.
Oh, yeah. Well, speak up!
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
It's the most badass co-host in Liberal Talk Radio, Wes Carskaddon. A foul-mouthed, barrel-chested, beer-bellied pile of ugly muscle.
Holy shit, you geeks are badass.
I apologize for nothing. I'm like a hunter of peace, one who chases the elusive mayfly of love. Well, something like that.
Alright, there you go. Wes, it is my understanding that you have some exciting news to share with everyone. Is that correct?
It depends what excites you, I suppose.
just tell them what you
Yes.
told me today.
Wes Smith and I will be doing an all-male review. It'll be called...
Wait, what?
Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the sexy version. It'll be a series of comedy and male strip shows.
That's not the news I was expecting.
Yes, nobody wants to actually see that, by the way.
Well,
let's go ahead and say nobody wants to see me naked.
No, the other news, sir.
Oh, yes, I will be have my hours at work adjusted, so that starting in the near future, I will be around for the whole show.
That's
poor bastards.
Worst fuck up ever. This is what I meant to give you.
Yeah, I see my $30 or $40 is going well.
I forgot that I don't have my fanfare on a hotkey. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I found this out earlier this week, and then I was like, oh, I'll let him tell it when he gets, whenever he makes it, on. So, yeah, that's great. I
do have that in a slight bad news sandwich, though.
Oh no!
Because I will not be able to make it next week. But anyway, we'll get into that later.
Wait! The whole show, or you're not going to be in early next week?
I am going to be at a social event next week. So I will not be able to be on, unfortunately.
Well, I guess we'll give you the night off.
I leave the penis jokes in the fine and capable hands of Mr. John Kendall.
Yes, we got 3 of them here tonight.
Only 3? Man.
We're up to 3. But before we go on,
we're not done yet.
We've got another out. We've got almost half the show left. But anyway, before we go, I just want to say, earlier this week, my mom sent me a baby picture, and I thought I would share it with everyone. There I am as a baby, and for you guys' benefit, I'm putting a picture of the absurdly cute baby walrus that was in the papers this week. I couldn't resist. So
yeah, we already saw it on your Facebook.
I know, but I couldn't resist the joke. Oddly enough, my mom didn't take the bait. She did not send that to me, by the way. I made that up. So anyway,
no, that would just be cruel.
I don't know. I thought I think it'd be kind of funny. Just like, I don't know, but maybe like I'm kind of weird like that.
No, I'm with you. I think that'd be pretty funny too.
I mean, it's like the self-deprecation thing, but I mean, if your parents can, join in with that, it's pretty funny.
Well, it's like, why do you think I have that one bump that says, a man with breathtaking anger management issues? Because first of all, it's true, and second of all, I'm making fun of myself. But anyway, let's get back to mocking stupid Republicans.
Yeehaw! Don't mind if you do.
Now, if everyone remembers, back in September, we had the attack on our embassy in Benghazi that culminated in the death of a diplomat who, ironically, was gay, would not have been allowed to marry in the United States.
Didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But the funny thing is that everyone's saying, oh, it's Obama's fault because he's cutting the military. He's making us weak. And Paul Ryan made this point in his debate. So here is what GOP Jason Chaffetz, Republican of Utah, had to say when asked about something he voted for.
Is it true that you voted to cut the funding for embassy security?
Absolutely. Look, we have to make priorities and choices in this country. We have, think about this, 15,000 contractors in Iraq. We have more than 6,000 contractors, a private army there for President Obama in Baghdad. And we're talking about, can we get 24 or so people into Libya to help protect our forces? When you're in tough economic times, you have to make difficult choices.
Okay,
you have to prioritize things.
So you're prioritizing. So when there are complaints that, in fact, that there was not enough security, you've just said absolutely that you cut. You were the one to vote against, to increase security for the State Department, which would lead directly to Benghazi. That seems like you're saying you have a hand in the responsibility to this, right? The funding of the security, if you're happy to cut it?
You get it. But because there are literally close to 200 embassies, consulates, those types of things. You have thousands of people that are involved in this. You have to prioritize things. Libya, before 9/11, 2 bombings on our consulate out there. Of course, that's got to be a higher priority than making sure that we're protecting some other emphasis.
We just heard that from the clip from one of the guys who's going to testify before you today that there was definitely this pressure in his mind to not staff the embassy fully security-wise. Wouldn't that pressure be coming from you directly, essentially, people and others who voted against funding for security? Keep it low because there's no funding for security.
Well, you're also talking about a vote that never came to fruition because we actually continued at the exact same funding levels moving forward. This is a vote that happened over in the House, but remember, the Senate never got to this point, so we did a continuing resolution. So it's a red herring. The reality is you have to prioritize things.
I've had enough with this asshole. I would think our protecting our diplomats abroad was a priority. Wouldn't you?
Psh, diplomats. The thing is, the Republicans wouldn't think we would need diplomats anyway because diplomacy is just, apologizing and weakness.
Well, it's not just that.
Instead, we should nominate all diplomatic positions to be filled by bombs.
I mean, remember that their foreign policy is basically but he's talking about priorities. Never mind the fact that Iraq was a fucking war of choice we were lied into, and I will bet you dollars to donuts this jackass voted for Iraq. Excuse me. And probably every resolution, every emergency supplemental to fund it. I mean, this is just, I don't even, Jesus Christ.
And the funny thing is about this too, is that, post the debate, of course, the TOPS who try to grab onto anything humanly feasible that they can to kind of spin, Ryan's debate performance around as a win, that, they had to attack Biden on his comments about Libya, about Benghazi. Mm-hmm. And, this is such a red herring.
Well,
I like the moderator's call out. Like, she just said, don't you realize what you've done?
And he's like, because that didn't become law, clearly I'm not responsible for the vote. No, you are. That is a show of your priorities, of your morality, and of your ethics. And you are saying, U.S. diplomats, fuck you. Your lives are not worth spending money on. From the Washington Post's Dana Milbank, for fiscal year 2013, the GOP-controlled House proposed spending $1.934 billion for the State Department's worldwide security protection program, well below the $250 billion requested by the Obama administration. House Republicans cut the administration's request for embassy security funding by $128 million in fiscal year 2011 and $331 million in fiscal year 2012. So, rank hypocrisy, and again, it's this Republican.
Yeah, but
Republicans
if the motion didn't pass, then the vote doesn't count. Duh.
I mean, Republicans always talk about personal responsibility. We are the party of personal responsibility.
Hey. A vote is like a blowjob. It doesn't count without completion.
Oh! Unless your name is Rush Limbaugh, then it's not a blowjob at all.
Well, no, then it's just tweezers and microscope.
Oh! 4.
Is that number 4? Does that count?
That is number 4.
All right, number 4. No, it basically, again, they talk about personal responsibility. We're the party for personal responsibility. What they mean is that means no food stamps for the poor, no, no deductions for the poor. All your vagina are belong to us. But when it comes to accepting responsibility for their actions, that's not my fault. Their first response whenever something bad happens as a direct result of their policies is, I didn't do it, it's not my fault.
Well, everybody knows that according to Republicans, that poor people are akin to Satan. Because obviously they're out sacrificing baby goats, for everything, to not be poor.
Yeah. But, I mean, this guy has some serious stones. I don't care if it didn't, get signed into law. You still voted to cut that budget. And those cuts contributed to the death of our diplomat in Libya. I mean, his death is on Jason Chavitz's shoulders. And to Mr. Chavitz, I say,
you look like the vermin-ridden son of a bitch you are.
Thank you, the Duke.
Hey, here's a cool tidbit. My dad helped build John Wayne's house here in Montana.
Your dad's old enough to have known John Wayne?
Yeah.
He died in what, like 75 or something?
Yeah, but at that,
Wow.
My dad graduated high school in 1971.
Oh, okay.
So he, and at that time he was working for a sawmill here in Montana, and he actually helped build John Wayne's house here in Montana.
Cool. Thank you. But, I mean, they never want to acknowledge the practical results of their decisions. It's like the Supreme Court, going back to Montana when they said, there's no corruption here. Montana says, actually, we have this documented case of corruption where a guy was handing out $10,000 envelopes stuffed with $10,000 to everyone who voted to put him in the Senate. Well, doesn't count, because we say it doesn't. They never want to acknowledge the bad their stupid-ass decisions bring about. But if something goes right, oh, it's all on us, baby! We're geniuses!
Well, there's different ways we can interpret this. I kind of wind it back to Christianity. They have trouble taking responsibility for their own actions. They tend to use other people as scapegoats. It's like, well, it wasn't our fault. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
But yes, you did.
I say put on your man pants and say, yeah, I fucked up. You might get forgiven.
Nah, admitting a mistake is totally against the American way. America don't make mistakes, man.
Actually made a big one in 2000. It was called Bush.
No, man, America don't make mistakes. You're apologizing for America.
And then again in 2004, which I'm going to take responsibility for that because I did vote for Bush in 2004.
Well,
see, I almost voted for Bush, but then I realized they weren't talking about female genitalia.
So, first of all, hold on. John, we absolve you. Go forth and sin no more. And second of all, thank God we dodged that bullet with Wes.
Hey.
No offense. No offense.
If pussies were running for president, I'd vote for them.
Me too.
But they are Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan.
Oh!
Thank you.
Very important distinction. Those ain't good pussies.
It's like what Pam Poovey says in...
those are some skanky ass pussies.
It's like
those are the ones where you get to the belly button and you just go, ooh, no.
It's like Pam Poovey said in Archer, you can't put a price on good pussy. And by the way,
amen to that.
If you don't watch Archer, I highly recommend it. It is hysterical, and
one of my favorite television shows.
It stars sexy liberal Aisha Tyler.
She's definitely sexy liberal.
Oh yeah. Well, I happen to
She
think,
is one sexy liberal, I'll say.
Yowza.
What about that?
Anyway, and I just want to point out that during the last break, Becky in the chat room pointed out that because we were talking about the Bible, she points out that the Old Testament also forbids eating shellfish. And I think that's important to point out that a lot of these Christians seem to be cafeteria Christians. Some from column A, some from column B. They're all for the Old Testament wrath of God shit when it comes to the gays. Other stuff, I like my shrimp cocktail.
Well, man, I'm sure you've seen that meme circulating around where the guy has the quote from Leviticus tattooed on his arm, when two paragraphs later, there's a one that forbids tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The thing is, if you believe in the Bible, you have to take the whole thing as it is. You can't, pick and choose. I mean, there are a lot of other, cases where it kind of clashes with, like mixed threads. That's a sin.
Yep.
Okay, on Sunday.
And
which I wish I could get away with that. By the way.
Hold on. Working on Saturday. The Sabbath is Friday night to Saturday night. If we're going to remember, we hold ourselves to higher standards. The Sabbath, the Sabbath is Saturday, not Sunday.
So that
okay, well, I wish I could get away with that even more. It'd be off every Saturday.
So that means I can't. So that means I can't tattoo on a Saturday. I can't get high on a Saturday. What's this world coming to?
No, man. I was reading an article about this, actually. Weed is kosher.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, not kosher for Passover, because the rabbis decided weed was not kosher for Passover, implying that it is other times.
What happens?
What about... Wait. Why would weed not be kosher? I know why pork isn't kosher.
It has something to do with, like, seed-bearing pods. I'd have to look it up again. It was a long time ago that I read it.
Okay. I'm just curious. Anywho... I just wanted to point that out because I think Becky had a really, really good point. And we try to give our listeners credit for their ideas, for, when they contribute.
Hey, Adam?
Yes?
Here's another tidbit. I'm actually related to Becky.
Oh, well, hey! I was wondering why she was in here. I was like, I don't recognize this person, but we'll have... Also, the voice guy for Sam Cedars and Archer. Oh, that's right! H. John Benjamin is the, Sam Cedar. Love me some Sam Cedar. Anywho, we're gonna go to...
Adam,
yes.
If there were any Republicans, you would be shamed for that, because you can't love another man.
Anywho... On that quality thought, we're going to go to break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about the debate. Now, we're not doing our extended debate coverage. We're just going to go over some clips. And most hysterically of all, the conservative reaction. So we will be back. This is, of course, Mike Check Radio with me, John Kendall out of Missoula, Montana, Rob Poole out of Baltimore, Maryland, and Wes Karskanen, the most badass co-host on World Talk Radio. We'll be right back after this.
Don't you know that a traditional Japanese breakfast is steamed rice, miso soup, and a little...
Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
からでも遅くはない。クーデターを中止しよう。
If you want talk, go to the other guys. If you want conversation, go to Ray Medeiros at usaprogressive.com.
The American people need to hold the Republican Party accountable. They're not willing to raise taxes on millionaires and billionaires in order to pay for American infrastructure, put Americans back to work, and educate American children. Yet they're willing to add to the national debt in order to go into another war, this time against Iran.
usaprogressive.com. The conversation starts here.
It's the HowdyLand.com News Bulletin with Stan Douglas. Go to HowdyLand.com and click on the Funny Times special offer to receive your free sample issue today.
Republican Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah will make a cameo appearance on the popular TV series The Walking Dead. According to the show's special effects assistant, Mike Zirkle, Hatch was a quick study and required minimal makeup.
The senator was great to work with. You could decapitate that guy over and over, and he totally nails it every time.
A friendly rivalry between Senator Hatch and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell began in 1994 when McConnell played an ass clown on Circus of the Stars. This HowdyLand.com news bullet was loaded into a semi-automatic rifle and used to defend Old Man Williker's precious collection of shot glasses. I'm Stan Douglas.
Hi, this is Kenny Pick from Turn Up the Night. Here are some of the hijinks you can expect from my show. We just got done listening to several clips about the Romney fundraisers over the weekend, and I invented the murder finger. It's an offspring of the murder fist. It just happens to be the murder fist with the middle finger extended.
Well, I'm ahead of you because I've had a hate finger for many.
Hate finger.
Hate finger. The man with the malcontent's touch.
Yeah. Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick, streaming live every Tuesday and Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern at Radio or Not, Talk Radio 1, Progressive Blend Radio, and KennyPick.com.
And we are at an impasse.
I'm afraid so.
The hell? Are you stuck at home on a Saturday night with nothing to do again?
I can't take it anymore!
Then join me, my co-hosts, and my guests every Saturday evening for Mic Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
Okay.
Okay.
Together we'll discuss the big news of the week from entertainment and politics, talk about the issues that are on your mind, and hey, we'll even talk about general stupidity and jackassery from the American right.
You stupid jackass!
So join me every Saturday evening, 6 to 9 p.m. Central at my Ustream home, Mike Check Radio. Come on in, it'll be loads of fun.
Gee, I sure hope there's a happy ending. I love a happy ending.
Have you checked your mic? If you haven't, somebody else has. That's Adam Hebert on Mike Check Radio.
Fuck yeah!
And we are back again with special guest co-host Rob Poole out of our Baltimore, Maryland bureau.
Good evening.
John Kendall out of our Missoula, Montana bureau.
Hello.
And, of course, the most badass co-host in Liberal Talk Radio, Wes Karskan out of the Chattanooga bureau.
Hey, it's Fat Karskan.
And I have to say that we have bureaus popping up all over the place. It's like a plague of intelligent liberalism just spreading across the country.
What are we, in my pants or something? Stuff popping up everywhere?
Well, we're obviously not in Rush Limbaugh's pants.
Does that qualify as number 5, Mr. Poole? You're official.
Yes, it does.
All right, we're at number 5.
I call it dick jinx.
Number 5. I need like a ding. I can't find a good ding.
Neither can Rush Limbaugh.
Number 6.
No, Rush Limbaugh does not have a good ding.
Or
no, actually, no. He only has a ding. He doesn't have a ding dong.
That's like 7, 8, 9, and 10. I think is that how many?
We'll go with number 6.
Okay, we're at number 6. And don't forget that in the final segment we're going to, because Mark Hamill was on the Young Turks this week, we're going to be casting Star Wars with political figures, and we're going to have his work from that. And I just want everyone to understand one thing, that
many Bothans died to bring us this information.
And as we all know in Star Wars, nothing can't happen without a Bothan dying. But before we get to the VP debate, I want to cover this. This is apparently Paul Ryan's Fifis got hurt. And so here he is. This is a local reporter. I want to say this is Michigan. I didn't get the location. I apologize. I failed you. Someone needs to force choke me. Apology accepted, Mr. Hebert. Anyway, here's Paul Ryan and a local reporter.
Does this country have a gun problem?
This country has a crime problem.
Not a gun problem.
No, I mean, if you take a look at the gun laws we have, I don't even think President Obama was proposing more gun laws. We have...
Hold on, right there. Did you notice that? Is this thing on?
Yes, it's on.
Okay. Did you notice that? What he just said a minute ago? He threw the NRA under the bus because remember what the NRA's been saying. Oh, Obama's the most anti-gun president ever, passing all these gun control laws.
That seemed to be working great for them.
They took our guns.
Yeah.
I mean, they just passed. I forget when they did it. I think it was either this year or last year. A gun control law that I forget how it works.
I don't remember.
The Karskat might remember it.
I don't remember there being any federal gun control laws.
Yeah, I don't think there have been any passed recently. I could be misremembering.
There's no way that a gun control law is going to get through this Congress.
Well, no, there was a different law. I forget exactly what it was. It was something about state to state gun rights.
I don't know. Well, Google.
I'd have to look it up.
Google monkeys. Fly,
yeah, it's not sounding familiar.
So let's get back out because I want to go. I mean, this epic temper tantrum.
good, strong gun laws. We have to make sure. We have to make sure we enforce our laws. Yeah, we have lots of laws that aren't being properly enforced. We need to make sure we enforce these laws. But the best thing to help prevent violent crime in the inner cities is to bring opportunity in the inner cities. Is to help people get out of poverty in the inner cities. Is to help teach people good discipline, good character. That is civil society. That's what.
So if you live in the inner city and you're poor, it's because you don't have character and discipline. It can't be because you have the deck stacked up against you. It's because you're just a bad person.
Yeah, because, obviously, failure can only be attributed to your personal factors and nothing else. There's no environmental factor whatsoever.
But wait, there's more. It's going to get really funny.
Charities and civic groups and churches do to help one another make sure that they can realize the value in one another.
And you can do all that by cutting taxes, with a big tax cut.
Those are yours, not mine.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. That was kind of strange, trying to stuff words in people's mouths.
Well,
so basically he gets this question, because, again, their entire platform, their solution to everything is a tax cut. He says, you're going to get gun control and you're going to enforce our laws with tax cuts. You're going to magically make people, not poor with tax cuts. And he just pitches a fit. His handler, probably one of Romney's higher-ups, says, interview's over, and he rips the microphone off. You can hear it, and he walks off. So poor Paul Ryan got his fees hurt. I mean, that alone tells me this guy is not ready for prime time.
As if the debate didn't prove that.
Well, this is before the debate, though.
Oh yeah, I agree.
The debate just further proved it.
But the debate, like I said at the top of the show, it's like, after his performance in the first debate, Barack Obama's in the Oval Office and he just says,
"Release the Kraken!"
And out comes the Biden to kick ass and take names. We're gonna cover that. But here's another thing. We all know that the right wing has a major hard-on for Ayn Rand. Why, I don't know. The woman was ugly as fuck.
Maybe she gave a great head. I don't know.
Maybe. But here is... I've been sitting on this since last week, and we didn't get to play this, but I want to play this now. This is Mary Madeline. Now, if you don't know, Mary Madeline is the wife of James Carville, one of the most famous and incomprehensible Democratic strategists ever. I mean, if you don't know James Carville, he just talks with a thick Southern Cajun accent. And, when he gets mad, though, it's just so funny. And these two are married. So Mary Madeline is this really far-right loon, and James Carville is this far-left guy. And somehow the marriage works. That's what I don't get. I could not...
I always think whenever I see Mary Madeline and James Carville, I'm always reminded of a line from Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is, do you know what people say when the two of you walk out of the room? They say, "Poor bastard."
Yeah, well, no, you know what I think is, I think the sex is just great. It's great sex. But anyway, so here's Mary Madeline. I forget where, with Hillary Rosen and some other schmuck. So here we go, Mary Madeline.
Know that. Mary Madeline, I got to get you in there. A lot of conservatives I've talked to and some I've read suggest this is actually perhaps a plus for Mitt Romney because it sort of galvanizes.
Oh, and they're talking about the 47% remarks. I know this is a little old. This is from, like I said, last week. And
conservative support. Do you think it really happens that way?
It galvanizes American support. Americans are smart enough to distinguish between vets or people who served their country, who deserve their veterans benefits, or people who have paid into Medicare and Social Security their whole life award, and that now those, because of these horrible policies that have doubled down by Obama, aren't even going to be getting the Medicaid and the Social Security they paid into. That's a different government transfer. That's an inefficient one. The corrupt one is are all those policies, those poverty programs that have gone on for 50 years and have destabilized, destroyed families, have reduced our educational achievement. There is a difference.
You're talking about the 1960s.
There are makers, Hillary, there are makers and takers. There are producers and there are parasites. And
she just called about half of America parasites. Now, So the reason why I played this, and I still think it's relevant to this week, is this is the core of Paul Ryan's philosophy. There are makers and takers, producers and parasites. The producer.
I'm going to go ahead and do something crazy. I'm going to agree with her conceptually.
What?
Because there are makers and there are parasites. The difference is, you know what the parasites are? They're called bankers. They're called hedge fund managers. They're called Mitt Romney.
All right. Well,
I would agree with that.
Okay. I think that's...
I'll make it 3.
Okay. So, I just wanted to play that because I think that's very relevant to the philosophy of Paul Ryan. And again, we're not going to be doing our... and here's one more thing. This is Ann Romney about the first debate.
What do you think about the charges that he lied? The other side said, you know, oh, well, he lied his way through that whole debate. How did you feel when you heard that?
I can't, I mean, like, lied about what? This is something he's been saying all along.
Lied about everything, you stupid
This is his
bitch.
policy. This is his statements. This is, I mean, lied. It's sort of like someone that, you know, in the sandbox that, like, lost the game and they're just going to kick sand in someone's face and say, you liar. I mean, it's like...
Yeah, that's what Romney did. He kicked sand in Obama's face at the first debate by steamrolling the moderator and lying through his teeth. So, and Romney is actually right. I will grant her that. Mitt Romney was like a child at the playground kicking sand into people's faces. Good on you, you stupid harlot.
Well, a lot of that has to also do with, you know, he's been doing this the entire, well, since he started running. And basically, we're letting him get away with it.
Yep. All right, we're almost up to asshole week, so let's get this debate. Let's get our debate on.
Woo!
Here is
debating.
Oh, darn it. Let's do the big one, the one about Libya, because you know what Joe Biden really wanted to say in this clip.
Governor Romney, and you're talking about this again tonight, talked about the weakness, talked about apologies from the Obama administration.
What apologies?
Is that really appropriate right in the middle of the crisis?
On that same day, the Obama administration had the exact same position. Let's recall that they disavowed their own statement that they had put out earlier in the day in Cairo. So we had the same position, but it's never too early to speak out for our values.
It's never too early to make an ass of yourself.
We should have spoken out right away when the Green Revolution was up and starting, when the mullahs in Iran were attacking their people. We should not have called Bashar Assad a reformer when he was turning his Russian-provided guns on his own people. We should always stand up for peace, for democracy, for individual rights. And we should not be imposing these devastating defense cuts, because what that does, when we equivocate on our values, when we show that we're cutting our own defense, it makes us more weak. It projects weakness, and when we look weak, our adversaries are much more willing to test us. They're more brazen in their attacks, and our allies are less willing to...
With all due respect, that's a bunch of malarkey.
And why?
You know what he really wanted to say.
Oh,
Everybody knows what Joe Biden wanted to say.
And let's give him let's give this guy a hand, because it took a... Where is my freaking applause? It took a lot of willpower to not call a spade a spade. So good on you, Joe Biden. But let's
Well, what he really wanted to say is that's bullshit.
'Cause it is
bullshit. But I actually like to mention something that Paul Ryan mentioned in that clip. That so what he's implying then is that having a giant military is a core American value. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with that.
Me either. History proves otherwise.
I am perfectly actually happy with my military wiener being medium and very good at what it does.
Okay, let's get to this one, because I think that Paul Ryan has some stones. I'll give him this. He's got brass ones for this one. This is Paul Ryan getting upset at Joe Biden for something.
Here's the problem. They got caught with their hands in the cookie jar.
Lie!
Medicare into
Lie!
a piggy bank for Obamacare. Their
Don't
own
make me go
actuary
to
from
the
the
law
administration
firm and seal it
came
in
said
whoop ass.
1 out of 6 hospitals and nursing homes are going to go out of business as a result of this.
It's not what they
7.4 million seniors are projected to lose the current Medicare Advantage coverage they have. That's a $3,200 benefit cut.
That didn't
what we're
happen.
saying,
More people signed
these are
up.
from your own actuaries.
More people signed up for Medicare Advantage after the change.
What they're saying,
nobody is
Mr. Vice President,
down.
I know,
no, this
Mr.
is
Vice President, I know you're under a lot of duress to make up the lost ground. But I think people will be better served if we don't keep interrupting each other.
He's got a lot of stones to say that after Mitt Romney interrupted and stonewalled at the first debate.
Yeah. Basically, that first debate, Romney basically ran over Jim Lear.
Yep. But, well, I mean, now, Paul Ryan's not the only person who did that. Here is, I'm sorry, guys. I hate to do it to you. Here is Sarah Palin. Forgive me.
Oh, God. I believe that Joe Biden was sent in to try to compensate for that, but really tough format, Sean, for someone like a Paul Ryan or anybody else up against Joe Biden when the moderator allowed one candidate to absolutely run roughshod over the conversation, over the opponent. That's a tough format. It reminded me, I just told Neil Cavuto, of watching a muskox run across the tundra with somebody underfoot, and in this case, when it came to style, it was Paul Ryan underfoot because of the moderator allowing Biden to do the interrupting, to kind of take control of the conversations.
Well, all I can say is I can't wait to get back to our studio tomorrow night.
Oh my God.
Dude, I love how Sarah Palin can't open her mouth without some fucking countrified tundra-ass metaphor coming out.
Second, learn to use punctuation, you stupid bitch! It's called a period! Love it! Use it! But
I think you're asking too much from Sarah.
I can pretty much guarantee that Sarah Palin does not have anything to do with periods anymore.
Oh! That was good. But again, it's this, oh my God, how dare Biden interrupt? But that's all Mitt Romney did.
Yeah, how dare you do the same thing we did?
Interrupting is for Republicans.
Because I guarantee, I tell you how the next debate's going to go. Because that first debate, my theory after watching Biden, the first debate was because you watched in the first half, Barack Obama was a lot more passive, a lot quieter. Then he kind of started pulling the same interrupting stuff later on because I'm thinking he said, "Oh, this is how it's played." Okay, and that's what Biden was doing.
Let's face facts, though. Let's face facts. Barack Obama was in an unwinnable debate. Because if he came out aggressive, he's the angry black man. If he comes out too soft, he's weak. He was not going to win that debate. That was stacked against him, and Romney had insanely low expectations. Here, let me put this in historical perspective. George W. Bush was considered to be a better debater than Al Gore in this first debate, and in his first debate with John Kerry.
George W. Bush was a master debater.
No, he wasn't. Anywho, we better get this. Are we ready to take out some trash?
Nothing.
He was a master at something.
Okay, let's go on.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a dick. But
and Rush Limbaugh's trying to find one.
Is that number 7?
That is number 7.
Number 7. Put it on the board. No. I will have a ding for next week because I think we're going to have John Kendall back in the sidecar. All right, so are we ready to take out some trash?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Who is he? He's an asshole, sir. I know that. What's his name? Asshole. Major asshole. I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Were you born an asshole?
Asshole?
Or did you work it your whole life? Either way, it worked out fine. 'Cause you're an asshole tonight.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
All right, who's going to go first? Rob, do you have a nomination for Asshole of the Week, sir?
Yes, I do.
All right, let's go.
All right. So in case any of you missed it, NBC had coverage about the debate this week, and Chris Matthews was there, being extremely being surprisingly calm and collect, and he was doing some interviews, with the crowd. And there was this woman, and she is my pick for the asshole of the week. And she basically kept saying that Obama was a communist. And Chris kind of pressed her on it. And her only response was, "Study it up, pal."
So he was basically, "Ha! That's not fair enough!" I'm sorry, I know that's a bad Chris Matthews impression. She came without her... Don't bring lies to a fact fight. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. John Kendall, do you have an asshole of the week?
I do. At the University of Southern Alabama, there was a student who had apparently gotten high on LSD and had an episode. He went to campus police for something. He was naked. He was on LSD. Dude was tripping out. He went, and the article says that his hands, his arms outstretched, and his palms open when he went to the campus police, whatever. The police officer shot him dead. It was later proven that the police officer had pepper spray and a baton, non-lethal ways to subdue him, and the officer shot and killed him. And all I want to say is rest in peace, Gil Collar, the student who was shot. But the cop, I don't see his name in the article, is my asshole of the week.
All right, and that is definitely a sad story. Wes, what do you got for us?
Today I'm going to nominate Bishop Thomas John Paprocki. He is the bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Springfield, Illinois, and he specifically came out this week and said that if you are Catholic, then voting for Obama will send you to hell, period. His church no longer should be receiving fucking tax-free status because they're endorsing a candidate.
I agree. And I was going to cover a story about this a couple weeks ago, and I didn't get to it, but it was about how there's this organized effort by the religious right to get a case before the Supreme Court where they believe they will overturn it. And let's be clear, you have a First Amendment right to your religion. You don't have a First Amendment right to tax-free status. So I agree, that's a good asshole. But I think I've got the winner. No offense, guys, but this one, This
one is a doozy.
My asshole of the week is a candidate for the Arkansas legislature, Charlie Fuqua. I don't know. There's no pronunciation guide for this name, but Mr. Fuqua, whatever. How about fuckwad? He says that children who don't demonstrate respect for parents should be put to death. In his 2012 book, God's Law, The Only Solution, quote, "The maintenance of civil order in society rests on the foundation of family discipline. Therefore, a child who disrespects his parents must be permanently removed from society in a way that gives an example to all other children of the importance of respect for parents. The death penalty for rebellious children is not something to be taken lightly. The guidelines for administering the death penalty to rebellious children are given in Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 18 to 21, and I quote from the book. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and then that when they have chastened him will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of his city, and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of the city, This our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear." But these aren't just the only verses in the Bible that advocate death of children. Here's another one from 2 Kings chapter 2 verse 23 through 24. And he went up from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. And he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood, and tare 42 children of them. And apparently God is also in favor of cannibalism. And ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall ye eat. Also, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters. And finally, Psalms 137 verse 9, Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. So, yeah, this guy wants to kill disobedient children. And he says that this passage does not give parents blanket authority to kill their children. Rather, parents will have to follow the proper procedure in order to have the death penalty executed against their children. The procedure is you drag your kid out to the gate and say, my kid eats too fucking much, and you stone him. And we're over on that, but that was that a doozy or was that a doozy? Anywho,
that was indeed a doozy.
We are going to go to break, and I apologize for talking so fucking long. We will be right back for the final segment of Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert with me, John Kendall, Rob Poole, and the most badass co-host of Liberal Talk Radio, Wes Karskadin. Bye. Or no, wait, don't go. We'll be back.
Adam Hebert.
Should be like Kleenex. Soft, strong, and disposable.
Smarter than Savage and sexier than Limbaugh. This is Adam Hebert on Mike Check Radio.
If you want talk, go to the other guys. If you want conversation, go to Ray Medeiros at usaprogressive.com.
Corporations are people, my friend. We can raise taxes, and of course they are. Everything corporations earn ultimately goes to people.
Corporations are not people. Corporations are property. The last time people were property in this country, we fought a civil war.
usaprogressive.com. The conversation starts here.
You never know who or what you'll hear when you listen to the Nicole Sandler Show at RadioOrNot.com.
Bill Maher, you're here in Miami on Friday night. You're doing a show at the Fillmore at the Jackie Gleason Theater. They just renamed this theater the Fillmore. And they put up a couple of psychedelic posters. So I guess...
Is it the theater Jackie did his TV show from?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
What I hear they did is put up 2 of those old Bill Graham posters and renamed it.
Yeah, I can't think of 2 different icons of show business.
Yeah, really.
Bill Graham and Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, why they just didn't play up the Jackie Gleason aspect, I don't know. But then again, this is South Florida.
Right. Okay.
Welcome to it.
I feel warned.
The Nicole Sandler Show, live Monday through Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, or podcast anytime at RadioOrNot.com.
Here we go again.
I demand more.
I want it, I need it, and I'm gonna have it.
Mike Check Radio with Adam Hebert.
And we are back. Apparently there's some issues with my mic. If there is one, chat, I need to know. Otherwise, we're just going to write it off as a Skype issue, and I'll figure it out later. Anywho, we are back with Rob Poole in our Baltimore, Maryland Bureau.
Good evening.
John Kendall in our Missoula, Montana Bureau.
Hello.
And, of course, the most badass co-host in the World Talk Radio, Wes Skarsgården in our Chattanooga, Tennessee Bureau.
Fuck yeah.
I'm going to turn down my mic and see if that helps. How am I sounding to you now?
I'm still hearing that echo, man.
Yeah, me too.
It's got to be a Skype issue. It's got to be. So, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anywho, let's do this. I'm a huge fan of Mark Hamill. And I mean, don't get me wrong, he was first Luke Skywalker to me, but it's mostly because I think he really has established himself as a voice actor. I mean, come on, he was the freaking Joker for 22 years, you know. So, and so remember, you guys may remember this. No, this isn't it, is it? You guys remember this? Let me see.
Mark Hamill is an actor.
That's not it. Where is it? I wanted to play this. Okay, here it is. No. I think this is it.
Mark Hamill is an actor, voice artist, producer, writer, director, and Mark Hamill is an actor, voice...
When I was a kid, one of the great shows that I used to watch was Disney's Zorro. And I knew nothing about Mexican history or anything, but just the idea of a privileged person fighting for the underdog. There's something very romantic about that. I guess it goes back to Robin Hood. People that are fighting for the middle class and for the have-nots. It's something that we see even playing out in the presidential race. And if you don't vote for Barack Obama, you're insane. Because without him, I think the middle class will completely disappear. And you look at Romney, and I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I think he's like the Thing. He only imitates human behavior. He's not actually human himself. Do you know he had lemon last week? He said, lemon, wet, good. Really? He said that. So God bless him. I'm enjoying him running for office, but I just, came out as a lifelong Democrat. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
it has.
Yeah, I don't hear the echo at all.
Mark Hamill is an actor, voice artist, producer, writer, director, and you might remember him as Luke Skywalker. Well, he also got a little political recently when he sent out this tweet about Mitt Romney. Quote, "I've never seen a candidate for president lie more than Romney. He lies effortlessly, shamelessly. This snake oil salesman must be defeated." Damn, that's strong. I like that. And Mark, of course, is also in Sushi Girl, which is an upcoming movie as well, and he's in the studio. How you doing, Mark?
I'm in the studio, and maybe I was naive to think I could just tweet in my den and send it out. I'm sort of new to the Twitter world. My daughter got me on, and she's carefully kept me on just innocuous tweets, whether I have blackberry jam rather than strawberry jam, or happy birthday John Lennon, you know, something that's non-controversial. But after that debate, I was just so insane. I was so outraged over the fact that there's no fact checkers. I debated in high school. They gave you a numerical score. You were graded on style, substance, and if you told things that weren't true or just made things out of whole cloth, you were penalized. There was an actual numerical score. So it's too bad they don't apply the same standards to the presidential candidates as they do
that'd be terrific.
as to high school students.
Yeah, definitely. That would be amusing.
That would be really funny.
Oh no. I hear thumping.
Are you fine?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
I'm hearing you fine.
Yeah, I can hear you fine too, buddy.
Yeah, same here. It seems to be an issue with your mic.
Stop! Hammer time.
Stop! Collaborate and listen.
Ice is back with a brand new invention.
Something grabs a hold of me tightly.
Something, something, daily, nightly.
Stop! In the name of love.
Before you break my heart. Okay. The answer, by the way, is Ice is back with a brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly. Then I flow with harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow. To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage, whack a shump like a candle.
It's amazing that he actually made money from that song.
Yeah,
So where's Adam?
I don't know. We're just kind of degenerated into Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah, and other songs with Stop. Here's another one. Stop. Peter time. I'm a big shot. There's no doubt. Light a fire, then pee it out. Don't like it? Kiss my rum. Just for a minute, let's all do the bump. Yeah!
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Alright, we got... Okay. Okay, can you guys still hear me? Alright, what I'm going to have to do... I'm going to be basically talking into two different mics, which really pisses me off, but... we're going to swap that out and put it in front mic. And... here we go! We should have audio from me... Hello.
Good on the side.
Okay. And we just ruined the segment. God damn it, I'm pissed. Okay. I apologize for the trouble, everyone. We're gonna cancel the cast Star Wars thing. I don't think there's enough time. Unless you guys want to do some picks, in which case, go for it.
I mean, all I really got is that it's easy to cast Barack Obama as, like, you know, Luke Skywalker. Really, he's more of a Han Solo. That and Joe Biden as his Chewbacca.
I actually disagree. I think that Biden is more Han Solo because, as we all know, Han shot first.
Yeah, but I can just imagine Joe Biden going, and it's funny.
I get you there. I'm just saying, that's my... And of course, I think we would all have to cast Rush Limbaugh as Jabba the Hutt.
No, Jabba the Hutt was actually able to please Princess Leia.
Oh!
Is that number 8, sir? Is that number 8, Mr. Poole?
No, I don't think so.
Cast Rush Limbaugh is like the Sarlacc or whatever, but that's an insult to Sarlacc everywhere.
Actually, we're gonna skip right to him. They're talking about casting Star Wars. We just don't. I'm sorry that the technical difficulties consume so much time, but here he is.
So let's have a little bit of fun here with Star Wars. I'm going to name you a politician, and you tell me which character in Star Wars they might be. All right, so we're going to start out incredibly easy. Dick Cheney.
Well, of course, I don't think it's fair to compare Dick Cheney to Darth Vader. It's unfair to Vader, because Vader was redeemed. He saw the evil of his ways and redeemed himself. So far, that hasn't happened with the former vice president.
All right, now, that one was fairly easy. We thought he was Vader as well, so we had that ready to go. Now I'm going to give you a tough one. Joe Biden.
Oh, Joe Biden. Probably Uncle Owen.
I don't even remember Uncle Owen.
Uncle Owen, who was my surrogate father when you first saw me on the farm. He was supportive. He was a little surly, but certainly somebody that you felt comfortable with and was very supportive.
Well, that's funny. We went with Chewbacca, actually, because he's enthusiastic, passionate, and he runs his mouth. He's a loyal sidekick.
Okay, gotcha. Well, everybody loves a Wookiee. Again, I'm not talking for the people from Newsbusters, but everybody loves Joe Biden. I know I do.
All right, how about Obama?
Well, he's very wise. He's got a sort of probably a cross between Obi-Wan and Yoda. Gosh, I so revere him. I'm going to have to go with the Sir Alec Guinness character, Obi-Wan.
Well, I respect him as well. So we decided he was actually Luke Skywalker.
Oh my gosh! No. That's way out of my league.
Well, the guy who was going to heal the planets, right?
That's right, and which was mocked by the right side. What's so terrible about healing
it? Would be great if he healed the planet. It would be terrific. All right, Mark Hamill, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so I would say, okay, maybe Jabba, or maybe Rush Limbaugh as the Sarlacc, and, well, no, I think Rush Limbaugh works as Jabba, but only if you cast Sean Hannity as that little annoying thing that was always with him.
The red thing?
Yes. The one
Salacious Crow. I think was his name. I might be misremembering.
Crow. Yes. Everyone's looking through a Star Wars. What's the name of that damn thing?
Something.
I would say for Princess Leia, I would say probably Stephanie Miller, because first of all, she is a strong woman, and second of all, I bet you she would look hot in a metal bikini. So yeah. Anywho, we'd better augur this in. And again, I apologize to our listeners. I do not know what's going on with my mic. It's really pissing me off, though. And my plug sheet is not here. What? I know I added it.
I'll tell you, dude.
Okay, I got it. All right. So, please look into our fine affiliates over on Radio or Not. Of course, there's the Nicole Sandler Show every Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. noon. Then that's Eastern at her Ustream home, Radio or Not. Filter Free Radio with Jacob Dean, Mondays, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, again, Radio or Not. Talking Left is now on Sundays, 9 to noon Eastern, on Radio or Not. Please check them out. Thursdays is the Shannon Files, 10 to 11 p.m. Eastern on Blog Talk Radio, and that is currently on hiatus, as is AWOP Radio. Fridays, 10 to 11, also on hiatus. There's the More Me Show every Sunday, 5 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, Big Bro himself, Turn Up the Night with Kenny Pick, every Tuesday and Friday, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern. And don't miss the repeat on terrestrial radio on WVKO 1580 out of Columbus, Ohio, every Sunday, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, we also have some web pages and blogs that we consider to be our affiliates. USA Progressive with Ray Medeiros at usaprogressive.com. Brad Blog by Brad Friedman at bradblog.com. Messaging Matters by our good friend Matt Emmer at messagingmatters.com. My favorite webcomic, By Moon Alone, at www.bymooналone.com. And check out my friend Robert's writing at avinabstract.com. AEVIN abstract.com. And yeah. So I see we have a problem here. So let's get right to oh wait, birthdays. I forgot. We got a big birthday this week, so I cannot ignore this one. Birthdays. We have Midori Mizushima in Montana. Otonjobi Omadeto Midori-chan. Thomas Giggles Davis in Australia, one of my close friends from a forum, and my friend here at the University of Illinois, Jin Woo Lee. Happy birthday, everyone. So, parting shots. Let's go. Hello?
Sure.
Huh? What?
Who wants to go first?
Rob, parting shot, please. Mr. Poole. Oh.
Thinking.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I really didn't think about a parting shot until right now. I don't know. Just study it out.
Okay. John, parting shot.
Let's see. My immune system is better, so that's good. And nothing else, so, I mean, you know, it's been great. Again.
7 penis jokes.
Okay. Parting shot. First of all, what we saw, you know, again, Thursday night,
Release the Kraken!
And boy, was the Kraken released. And second of all...
Boy, was it.
We saw Paul Ryan. He's clearly not qualified to be president or vice president. And here's hoping America makes the right choice. Otherwise, if I don't see Obama start to go up in the polls next week, I'm going to have to yell at you all again. And I don't think anyone wants that. Am I right?
Yeah, especially with that echo.
Yeah,
definitely.
You guys could have said something about that sooner. Instead, you wait until the third hour.
Well, it wasn't really that bad early on. It just got progressively worse as the show went on. It really kicked in around the second hour.
Okay, we'll see what we can do about that. Like I said, it looks like it was just an issue. I don't know if it was Skype or the microphone, but I implied. Anywho, damn. And of course, we also learned that nothing can happen without Bothans dying.
Many Bothans died to bring us this information.
However, no Bothans, this is official, this has been confirmed by the U.S. Humane Society, no Bothans were killed during the production of this radio program. So, you know.
Yes, sorry about that. I just shot a Bothan.
What?
It was going through my trash. I thought it was a raccoon. I was like, oh, fucking Bothan.
Okay, so we had one Bothan die during the production of this radio show.
2.
And I'm sure...
Okay, more like 4.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
A lot of Bothans died to bring you this show, okay?
Anywho, we're gonna get going. Thank you all very much. I'd like to thank all of our listeners who have now run away. So damn it, we have Victor Rocco, 2 guests, Paul Green of Left Wing Radio Stations, Rob Poole and John Kendall for being in the sidecar, and of course Wes Garskedden, the most badass co-host of Liberal Talk Radio. We'll see you all next week. Well, you won't see Wes, but we'll see about getting him a damn fine replacement. Anywho, have a nice weekend. Bye.
Peace.
Adios, amigos.
Time for go to bed. It is late.
Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye to you all. I'll never forget you. Live in peace.
Goodbye, all. Stay happy and good luck.
On our way to great adventures.
Get out of here! Casting worm!
Push the button, Frank.
Get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
Visitors, thank you for your attendance.